What is that dark place that you have been to where you get a chance to discover another layer of yourself? I remember one of the first phone calls I made when I first got started in sales. And, we would have to call prospects and give them an overview of the idea and then ask them if they would like to be a customer, if they would also want to participate as a representative of this product. And one of the first calls I made, I was so excited because I was new in business. My eyes were wide open. I was filled with optimism and enthusiasm, and I was looking forward to putting the pieces of this puzzle together. And I called this colleague of mine that I was acting at the time full time. I was living in New York, and I said, "Hey, listen, man, I got involved in something. I'm really excited about it. It's a way for us to build another stream of income while we're out here doing these auditions and everything else. And man, I can make $1 million doing this." I was like, "I don't know how long it's going to take, but I know I can make $1 million." And he was like, "Pfft, come on, man." Like that was his response. "Pfft, come on, man." And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "So you're not into it?" He was like, "No." I was like, "All right, cool." I was like, "Thanks so much, man, for hopping on. Have a good day." Now, I hung up the phone, but inside I went to my dark place. I went to that dark place because for me, I got really annoyed because he was not willing to dare to dream. He was not willing to dare to look beyond his current circumstance. And he didn't have anything going on. Like I knew that he was struggling. I knew that he could have used the vehicle to create income for himself, but he was so wrapped up in his skepticism and wanting to be right that he couldn't be open to the opportunity. And because that was one of the first calls I made, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna I didn't even think, I didn't say this, but this is what happened. What happened was I burned that interaction into my brain. And I've never forgotten about that call to this day. I've never forgotten about it because I was like, I'm going to completely destroy this dude with my success. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to call him after I've made my first million and flaunt it. It wasn't anything like that. I didn't ever need to talk to him again. But for me, internally, when I went into that dark place, I was like, I'm going to destroy him with my success because stuff like that just fires me up. And it's a personal thing. It's really got nothing to do with, again, me showing that particular person when I had achieved that level of success, which I did. But it was a driver for me. It really, really drove me. When people would tell me they were going to do something and then they wouldn't do it, they would tell me they were going to show up and then they wouldn't show up. They would tell me they wanted to change their life. They were sick and tired of being sick and tired, and then they would just disappear. Those are all of the little um, rocket boosters that were the fuel that were it's like pouring gasoline on my fire. Like it just added more fuel to my fire because again, I went to that dark place and I'm like, I'm going to remind every one of you that this is the biggest mistake you've ever made in your life. Not staying the course and not staying in these trenches with me. Like turning your back on my partnership. I'm willing to go to battle with you. I'm willing to do whatever it takes so that you can win, so that you can be successful. I'm willing to stay up as late as I have to stay up and get up as early as I need and drive as many hours as I need to drive. I'm going to do all these things because I want you to win that bad. I'm committed to winning. I'm going to win, but I want you to win too. And you turn your back on me by quitting. So you may quit on you, but I would never quit on you. And so every time that would happen, ladies and gents, I go to that dark place. It would just fire me up. It would just make me even more determined, more gritty, more driven. I'm like, I'm going to destroy everything in my path with my success. And that's what motivates me. Like maybe something different for you. I don't know what your hot button is, but it's important for you to identify what your hot button is. So I'm just sharing my hot buttons with you because maybe you'll get something from it. When I would encounter people from the religious sectors, people that would call themselves religious, and they would talk to me about their particular faith, and I would say, great, this is a fantastic opportunity for you because we build our business based on having a vision for what it is that we want to produce and create. And then we put all of our energy and effort and work into manifesting that. So you're going to fit right in because this is a faith-based quest that we're on. It's about your mindset. It's about your vision quest. And when those people would fall by the wayside, they would quit. Not because it was hard, but because they thought and expected it to be easy. Again, it was more fuel to my fire because I'm like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? You're the one talking to me about all this faith, and I live by faith and not by sight, and I know. And so I would always ask the question, let me ask you something. Is your God a tiny, whiny, wimpy God? Is that the God that you serve? Or is your God cosmic in its dimensions? Is your God a God that can find a way and can make a way? Because you're quitting from some really small challenges. T.D. Jakes said, if you got a problem that man can solve, you ain't got no problem. What are you talking about? You're quitting because you got your feelings hurt. You're quitting because you had to make some extra calls and you got rejected. And you're quitting because it's taking longer than you thought. You're not making $10,000 a month in your first 3 weeks. Like, that's why you're quitting. And you come to me talking about all this faith talk? What? So again, I would go to my dark place and I'd be like, ooh, my God is a big God. My God is a God of all things being possible to him that believeth. I am going to destroy everyone in my path with my faith walk. Because I'm going to show those people what a real faith walk is. Now, remember, I'm sharing this with you. This is all internal. I'm not saying these things out loud because I don't want people to feel like I'm chastising them because they have some fear issues. Everybody's got fear, and how you deal with it is how you deal with it. I'm not going to judge someone for being weak-minded, for being a quitter, for not really wanting to go after their goals and dreams. I'm not going to do that. Like, that's rude, okay? However, I will take that experience and I internalize it and I use it for fuel. It just drives me because I would always ask myself the question, am I bigger than this or is this bigger than me? And if I'm confronted with something, that question is a very simple answer. Am I bigger than this or is this bigger than me? Well, the God that I serve is way bigger than whatever challenge or problem is before me. And that's just my philosophy. The difference is that I'm willing to walk it, not just talk it. So when I would encounter these people along the way, we call them naysayers, or we call them negative nay-nays and negative Neds or whatever, right? Like, whenever I would encounter those people that would quit on themselves, people that go into hiding, people that they run from the opportunity to grow, they run from the opportunity to be successful, and they spend all their time cowering. And it just drives me insane. To this day, it drives me crazy. Now, again, I don't say these things out loud, but it's a dark place that I go to. It's a hot button for me. It's a driver for me. What's your driver? What's the thing that really gets you going? And you're like, you know what? I'm more determined now. Resistance is the multiplier. Resistance is the multiplier. Most people miss this. They miss it because when things are challenging or it's not moving the way they want it to move, they fall into the shiny object syndrome trap, or even worse, the distraction trap, because there's so many different ideas and gurus and things coming at you. It's easy to try something, and if it doesn't work after a few months, you go try something else. Well, there's a flip side to that. The good news is that within 90 days, you'll know if you're putting in the work, you'll know if you're in the right place because you will see results by if you're putting in the work. If you're putting in the work, and you're not seeing any results, that's a different conversation. It's a different conversation, okay? I have no issues with that because I would always tell people, listen, if we're working together and you're putting in the work, you're going to get results and your income's going to increase. And if that doesn't happen, I will give you any money that you spent. I'll give it all back to you. Like if you spent money for a lunch meeting or whatever, well, whatever you spent money on, if you are doing what I'm telling you to do and your money's not going up, I'll give you all your money back. I never had anybody ask for the money back. Why? Because it works. So I'm not talking about you putting in the work and after 90 days you don't see any results. That's it's time to pause and have a crucial conversation. I'm talking about those people who make excuses, who hide from their goals and their dreams, who are subjugated by fear, and they're living the life of a coward. The coward dies 1,000 deaths. The valiant dies but one time. So I just wanted to share that with you. I don't know why I felt compelled to share. Oh, I know why. Because the in the plank this morning, the plank that we did, I was reading from Becoming Supernatural, Joe Dispenza, and he talked about anger and the cycle of anger and how the mind responds to anger and how that becomes a pattern. So that's what it was birthed out of. But I do believe we have to appreciate the dark place that we can go to. I do believe that we can make it serve us. It can be useful for good. It can be used to create impact. It can be used to change and transform lives. Because let me share this with you. Because I leveraged and harnessed every situation that pissed me off and then it pissed me on, it enabled me to help so many people, literally thousands of people. It enabled me to touch lives all around the world, literally, like no exaggeration, personally. And to this day, I have conversations with people that I've had the opportunity to be a blessing to because I harnessed that power, and I still do to this day. So whatever your hot buttons are, appreciate them, embrace them, don't hide from them. There's nothing to be embarrassed about or to be ashamed of. It's an internal thing, okay? It's not about, rubbing your success in somebody's face. It's not about showing you, oh, here's what we're doing. I may share with you, here's the progress. Like, I just want you to know there's progress happening. Here's the growth, and let's celebrate that. But it's not about the other person. I'm using it as fuel, and hopefully you will use your hot buttons as fuel too.